So here we go, very quickly. I'm starving. So welcome in. This is game number 3 of the ace match of week number 1 of the Chobo Team League. It all comes down to this game on Antigua Shipyard between our two players. Spawning down here in the lower left-hand corner, in the teal color, playing for the team Guns and Roaches, it is StalkeR. And spawning across from him, the only position he can spawn on this version of Antigua Shipyard, in the orange color, he's the team captain for his team, the King's Men. Can he win the series? It is Kiastu. Now this is GSL Antigua Shipyard. For those more familiar with the latter version, only a couple real differences. It's forced cross spawns as third bases on this map, if you're rotational with your opponent, are fairly overpowered for Terran in particular. Because if you imagine Kiastu has taken his third base at this location, StalkeR literally has to drop from here to here over the cliff, and that's kind of ridiculous. So the GSL version, there's also neutral supply depots, and the other big difference, that's not a gold base in the middle. That's just a standard blue base. It's still a really nice spot for Terran to take in the mid to late game, because you can set up your planetary, you can set up your siege line, but it's not gold minerals, so you're not gaining that additional advantage out of that. So we see both players actually not aware of cross spawns only on this map as they scout close positions. And it looks like Kiastu will be able to get back into his opponent's base. Will he gas steal again? Kind of interesting questions. It looks like he's going to stick with the same build. He's going 15 hatch, and we'll see a pool fairly soon, followed by a gas geyser. Now, we're interested to see what StalkeR does. Will he stick with his Marine Marauder medevac composition? We've basically seen the same game twice in a row so far. Kiastu with a successful Baneling Bust in game number 1, and an unsuccessful Baneling Bust in game number 2. Now we see full scouting information from both players. The drone does go down in the main base, but nothing really hidden. It looks like StalkeR is going to go, well, gasless one racks expand. He's following up by finishing his wall first, which isn't necessarily a high priority for the Terran doing this build, but useful. Orbital command finished up for StalkeR, and I imagine we'll see Kiastu do something different. I can't imagine you Baneling Bust someone 3 games in a row, especially after they showed that they can hold it. So I'm really curious. I'm also getting really tired. We're at a little over 2 hours of casting now. In a row, no breaks. Again, tomorrow, replays pending, as I saw in the chat. At 6 p.m., I will have a, hopefully, again, replays pending, we'll have a cast of the game between Team Kessel and Spinal Tap, and that should be a lot of fun. So please tune in for that, again, on this channel. Bunker going up at the front for StalkeR. He'll feel very safe. He's going up for 1 gas geyser before the other. Again, this is kind of StalkeR's variation of the 1 racks expand. Typically, you'll see 1 racks into 3, and then followed up with double gas, but he'll tend to do it in segments where he'll get 2 barracks, and then a gas geyser, then another barracks, and then a gas geyser. It's kind of an interesting style to do it in, and it probably works for him, so more power to him. Kiastu, meanwhile, he does have that Zergling speed done, and still no Spine Crawler at the front. There's a Roach Warren, and instead of a Baneling Bust, we might see a Roach Bust in game number 3 from Kiastu. Again, we're casting from replay, so we don't get to see some of these internet problems. But now, Zergling's headed to the middle of the map to control this watchtower, and everything proceeds as normal. We even see StalkeR. He's so paranoid about this Baneling Bust. He's splitting his Marines already back behind his bunker. I really like it. But we do see StalkeR following up in his traditional fashion. He had his tech lot down, then he follows up with 2 more barracks. We'll another tech lab. And this is exactly the same build. And Kiastu. Kiastu, are you gonna Baneling bust again? This is the ace match for week number 1 of the Chobo Team League. These players are tied at 1. Kiastu's Baneling busted twice in a row. We're going to see another one here. It looks like this is going to be a Roach Baneling. So at least there's a little bit of variation with the all-ins, but this is so all-in. And risking your team's win on a Roach Baneling bust, it's essentially a 50-50 proposition at this point. We'll see how it goes. StalkeR getting out Marauders, which will help deal with those roaches. He's going to finish his wall very quickly. I have an inkling that he knows what's up. I have no idea why the SCV was under attack. It looks like a Zergling might have run up in here. But Kiastu gathering his forces in the middle of the map, and here come the Banelings. There's only 5 so far. It would be nice to see another one just as insurance, but this is so many units. If we look at the units tab, look, 27 drones to 36 SCVs. If StalkeR holds without losing too many SCVs, he's in just an unlosable position. This SCV actually going to move out around the middle of the map and spot everything. StalkeR immediately lifts his depot. He's starting to split his units back behind everything. This is really nice from him. Just checking the APM of our players really quickly. He loses the Banelings. There's no bust that's going to happen. He could pull SCVs and start to heal this bunker and just hold indefinitely. It looks like that bust is just a complete failure. Kiastu now falling back across the map. StalkeR had the supply lead briefly, and that was so bungled. He had a chance if he busts down that down that bunker, but he lost 4 of his Banelings before he was able to even detonate. So only 1 detonation. That's a big Baneling hitter, but it looks like StalkeR just has so much in the middle of the map. More Zerglings rallying in. This stim is just finished, although he hasn't used it yet. It looks like these Zerglings may be able to trade with these units. And Kiastu still alive in this game. Now StalkeR pulling back. He did salvage his bunkers after that. Perhaps really confident that he would be able just to win the game with a counterattack. But now the Zerglings just kind of running into the Marauder wall. They'll be forced to retreat, and StalkeR has a huge economic advantage. Kiastu a little bit shaky back behind this. He's droning up. He's making a 3rd base. But StalkeR in a really nice position. He's really worried about a full bust, it looks like. But I don't think that's going to come. Again, Kiastu will finally be getting enough drones. He's taken the drone lead now at 49 to 41. Again, he's not out of this game by any means, but the position of StalkeR is just so good. And if he scouts that his opponent doesn't have any units out, he could push across the map and just win the game. This is a pretty scary army. I think what he'll wait for is a couple of medevacs, and then he'll start putting on pressure. He'll have combat shield and concussive shell at that time, and he may catch Kiastu just droning up. Infestation pit is on the way, and I said it last game, I'll say it again. Infestors can forgive a lot. But StalkeR with a gigantic supply lead, almost 40 supply, and just working on getting up everything that he needs to make sure that his attack's successful. Artosis would be proud of StalkeR right now as he heads across the map. He was waiting for those medevacs. He'll have combat shield right about the time that he hits the other side of the map. There's a couple of Banelings being morphed now by Kiastu. I don't think it's going to matter. There's just so many units here. Especially the Marauders provide a lot of power. There's 10 of them in with this unit composition. StalkeR even splitting, making sure that the Banelings aren't rolling up to attack him in the middle of the map. And now he's moving up toward his opponent's 3rd base. He'll take down the destructible rocks, and that'll be his entrance point. He has to be careful because this is pretty narrow in here. It'll be tough to split against those Banelings. Destructible rocks going down that will be spotted by these Zerglings. He'll even see the rest of the units moving across the middle of the map. Now there's this by StalkeR, target on the spinal colors, and the third going off, and Kiastu in a lot of trouble. He's moving in his units. Baneling roll is done. This is pretty good splitting, but it's a really narrow area. Nice detonations. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. The rest of the Zerglings cleaned up, and StalkeR will take this game and the series for Guns and Roaches. And what a series we had. It doesn't look like Kiastu's quite ready to give up yet, but the third base going down is basically the nail in the coffin now, and Guns and Roaches will have a nice win in week number 1 and a chance to expand on that going into game number 2. But we'll see if Kiastu can manufacture a miracle here. He's starting his pathogen glands upgrade. I think infestors and banelings are what he's going to have to rely on. If he can get the perfect fungal and the perfect baneling hit, he has a chance to catch up. If we look at the units tab, we see he's actually behind in workers now, and StalkeR just gathering up his army in the middle of the map. He's up to so many medevacs. This is a style that, you know, the medevac count just gets out of control, and all of a sudden you can't kill the bio, even with fungal baneling. Now he's moving up. He'll split against some of these banelings, but it just doesn't matter. Everything overrun. Nice detonations there. He didn't get the best ones, though. He got a bunch of Marauders, not so much the Marines. Marines actually kind of blocking everything as he takes down a lot of these Overlords. Now going up into the main for the kill, the Macro Hatch and the Natural going down. And there's GG from Kiastu, and StalkeR has taken game number 3 of the ace match and taken the game for Guns and Roaches. So really nicely done. We're going to jump over to the website really quick while we show you the recap of the match right here in the middle. Guns and Roaches defeats the King's Men 4-3. True Noir takes the first bronze match over Cyan Theory. Something new with a win over Insert Name. Bogus Bart able to bring it back for the King's Men over Peck. And then I do not believe that's actually his name, but Kasi able to take a win over Treetop. That was a 3-1 lead for Guns and Roaches, but nobody able to take home the game. Shaitan and KSO able to win for King's Men, bringing it back to 3-3, and then StalkeR taking the ace match over Kiastu 2-1. So we're going to come back tomorrow where we'll have another exciting game. Hopefully, if they get the replays up, it'll be Team Kessel versus Spinal Tap, and we're really looking forward to that. So thank you again to CTL for allowing me to cast for them. My name is Meristematic. If you appreciate the cast, please follow me on Twitch TV, follow me on YouTube. The YouTube channel is YouTube